Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, June 1st, 2017. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of OR News, where we bring you today's top stories, translated into English, every weeknight. IPR Marketing and OR News publicized on Tonight with Iveltare the first poll for the June 25th elections. If elections were to be held today, the Socialist Party would receive 43% of votes, which is more than the other parties and more of what it received than in 2013 elections. According to the poll, Democratic Party receives 36% of votes, which is 6% more than its result in 2013. It's worthy to mention that the impact of the Democratic Party allies, which will run under the Democratic Party's logo, and of the ally parties' votes will be counted for the Democratic Party. There is also an increase for the Socialist Movement for Integration. According to the poll, the Socialist Movement for Integration receives 12%, which is almost 2% more than in 2013. The surprise of these elections in the first poll is the LIBRA party of Ben Belushi. According to the projection, LIBRA party receives 2.3% of votes in total. The Party for Justice, Integration, and Unity receives 1.8%, and the New Democratic Spirit receives 1.3%. Meanwhile, the Challenge for Albania receives only 1%. The situation appears different in Tirana. According to the poll, the Socialist Party receives 41% of the votes in the capital, the Democratic Party receives 33%, and the Socialist Movement for Integration receives 14% of the votes. The LIBRA Party appears with a record number of votes, considering that it is a new party, reaching 6% of votes in Tirana. If this projection turns out to be true until the election date, this percentage of votes would guarantee 2 mandates for the LIBRA Party in Tirana. Challenge for Albania received 1.5 of votes in Tirana, while the Party for Justice, Integrity, and Unity and the New Democratic Spirit will receive 1% each. When asked who they think will win the elections, regardless for whom they vote for, 55.9% of Albanians think that the Socialist Party of Rama will win. Only 8.2% of citizens think the Democratic Party will win the elections, and 5.3% of citizens think the Socialist Movement for Integration will win, whereas 29.8% of citizens do not have any opinion as to who will win the elections. The poll was conducted on May the 29th and 30th, and the margin of error is calculated to be more or less 2.5%. 2,002 Albanian people were asked for the national poll, and 1,000 people were asked for the poll in Tirana. According to the IPR marketing poll, the main Albanian people's problems that need an immediate solution are unemployment, corruption, low salaries, pensions, and healthcare system. When asked about the quality of life in Albania, 45.8% of Albanian people think there is a good quality of living in Albania, and 45.4% think that there is a bad quality of living in Albania. In comparison with 4 years ago, only 39% think there is a good living in Albania, whereas 29.8% think there is a bad living in Albania. The main problems of Albanian people are related to economy. According to the poll, unemployment is 67%, which in fact is a strong argument of the electoral campaign mentioned by all political parties. Corruption holds the second place of Albanian people problems with 36.3%, then the low salaries and pensions with 34.7%, the economic crisis with 29.1%, which is followed by healthcare at 23.4%. The government work has been positively evaluated by 40.3% of Albanian people. 77.9% of Socialist Party voters have positively evaluated the government's work, and only 2.8% of Democrats think the government has done a good job. 47.1% of the Socialist Movement for Integration voters think the government has made a good work, and 22.2% of them think the government has not done good work. 47.7% of Albanian people think that the government has kept its promises, with 38.4% thinking the government has not kept its promises. The Socialists think that the government has kept 82.5% of its promises, and only 1.2% of the Democrats think that the government has kept them. 45.2% of the Socialist Movement for Integration supporters think that the government has kept its promises, and 39% of them think to the contrary. 47.8% of Albanian citizens have negatively evaluated the work of the Democratic Party chairman, Basha, with 23.4% of people having a positive evaluation for the DP chairman, and 21.2% do not have any evaluation at all for the DP chairman. 12.7% of the Socialist Party supporters have positively evaluated the work done by the DP chairman, with 71.7% of them negatively evaluating the work done. 65% of the Democrats have positively evaluated the work of the DP chairman, and 15.4% of them have a negative evaluation for the DP chairman's work. The stance of the Socialist Movement for Integration support is really interesting. 77.9% of them have negatively evaluated the work done by the DP chairman. None of them have positively evaluated the DP chairman's work, and 19.1% of them think his work is neither negative nor positive. When asked whether they will go to vote, 68.1% of Albanian people said yes, 26.7% said no, and 9.6% have not made a decision whether or not they will go to vote. 2,002 people were asked all around the country, and the margin of error for this poll is calculated to be more or less 2.5%. Today, the Democratic Party chairman, Basha, met with Dejes resident to whom he declared that he will cancel all corrupt concessions of the government, saying, "Corrupt concessions will be cancelled and the money will be returned to the citizens." The DP chairman, who attacked the coalition with the Socialist Party and the Socialist Movement for Integration, saying that they are in conflict with the division of power and that the opposition is more united than ever, stating, "The ruling coalition of these past 4 years is divided because their plan for power has been broken." The DP chairman also commented on the agreement reached with the Socialist Party, declaring that the constitutional reform will pave the way to the elections of members of parliament from the people. Prime Minister Rama was in Puke today, where he told that the Socialist Party will work to build a strong economy, just like it did for vetting. The Prime Minister used sarcasm against the Democratic Party chairman, saying that it is proven that the DP chairman does not know how to work and that he is only awake when there is a camera in front of him. The Prime Minister asked for the citizens' votes in order to continue with the reforms for the transformation of the country, saying, "You should vote for the Socialist Party so that the country does not fall into the hands of Basha. He's given proof that he does not know how to work. He only wakes up when he has cameras in front of him, and when the camera is off, we have to shake him because he falls asleep." Mr. Rama said that the political agreement reached with the Democratic Party ended the contest of elections, and that after the elections, together with the opposition, he will ask for the opening of negotiations with the EU for Albania's membership in the European Union. The Prime Minister declared, "The deal is that after the elections, who loses will congratulate the winner, and then the government and the opposition will ask for the opening of negotiations in Brussels. Once Albania is in the European Union, people will be saved from this politics." Whether or not the poisoning of 146 people who participated at the Democratic Party's campaign in Tirana was caused by the streetlights will be learned within the next 48 hours. Some OR News sources say that the experts have made an experiment and that they will soon have a conclusion which will be submitted to the prosecution. Meanwhile, the Forensic Medicine Board has responded to the attorney's office, saying it is impossible for it to conduct the requested analysis for the 146 people with signs poisoning, because of the absence of some equipment and the high cost with which, according to forensic medicine, may reach up to 1 million euros. For this reason, the prosecution will request the help of German authorities. This is about the blood analysis of the damaged people in order to understand the reason why the Democratic Party supporters were poisoned. The clothes of the poisoned victims will be also examined. In the file the state police has referred to prosecution, it says that after the opening the campaign of the Democratic Party in Tirana, the DP chairman and 146 supporters ended up in the hospital with signs of poisoning, including eye rashes, irritation of the skin and exposed areas of the face and neck, and in some cases, light breathing difficulties. But as the police submitted the case as the lights were the cause of the poisoning, the prosecution has a different stance, registering the case for the hindrance of the political campaign. Meanwhile, the Unit Against Terrorism has been involved in the investigation. Police have seized 2 lights of the company that was hired to ensure the lights of the electoral campaign. On Tuesday the 30th, around 3 p.m., two American minors who live in Tehran have run away from their family. The Bailey K family is asking for the help of the state police and of the citizens who have seen the brothers to immediately contact the family. In order to help to verify the two brothers, the family has given these details. Tavish Took Bailey K is 14 years old, around 150 centimeters tall, with black hair, brown eyes, and a short haircut exactly like in the photo. He was last seen wearing a gray-blue t-shirt and jeans with gray hiking shoes. Tig Magnus Bailey K is 17 years old, about 180 centimeters tall, with no hair, brown eyes, and was last seen wearing jeans and a turquoise V-neck t-shirt. The family says the brothers have left their house, which is located in the American Village area, and the family does not have any information as to their whereabouts. According to some citizens' reportings, both brothers were last seen this morning in the Kodra Dialit area near the artificial lake park. The Bailey K family says that both of them are mentally ill, but they are not dangerous. If you have any information, please contact them by phone at 069-921-0051 or by email at info@thebohemianhabitat.com. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Cosmo K, and on behalf of Vora News, thank you and good night.